For fashion labels and brands doing 500K to 1 million per year minimum direct to consumer, this document will show you how to grow to 2 to 4 plus million online from new customers without pushing a sale or discounts using viral bestseller ads. So here are the latest 2023 results we've gotten for fashion labels and brands. In June 1st to June 30th, 2023, so these are some of our latest results. This one we spent about 70.4K, made about 435K at a 6.17 ROAS. This one we spent about 39.7K, made about 158K at a 3.99 return on ad spend, and all from June. This one we spent about 60K rounded up, made about 351K at a 5.86 ROAS. This one we spent about 19.6K, made about 62K at a 3.18 ROAS. And this one we spent about 15.5K, made about 146K at a 9.44 return on ad spend in the month of June. So these are some of our latest results. These are the fashion and clothing labels and brands that trust us. Some of them we worked with before, and some of them a lot of them we still work with now. And these are just some of them. And these are their testimonials that you'll see when you click the link of fashion or labels and brand founders like yourself who have worked with us and are still working with us and what they have to say and their honest review. You'll see stuff like this.
Hi, my name is Valentina.
So that's Valentina, for example. All right. Now, who this best serves? Fashion labels and brands doing at least 500K to 1 million in online sales a year, direct to consumer. You have over 10K Instagram followers, and your AOV is around $100 and higher. Your main market is the US, Australia, UK, or a mix of them. You have quality products and a good return customer rate. You want to expand to new audiences and get new customers every month consistently. You want to double your online sales, but you worry your sales are plateauing or going down. You can't figure out why new people are not buying, and you hate dealing with the same issues. You know ads can grow your brand a lot, but you may have worked with agencies who left a bad taste in your mouth, or you just don't have the time to look after it yourself. If you are running ads, your current spend is usually between 20K to 50K per month, and you want to increase it while being profitable. If you have an agency or a freelancer, you may have outgrown them and they can't get you to your goals. You hate babysitting them. You suspect they don't know what they're doing, they're giving you excuses, they're not adapting to the current market, and using outdated strategies. You want an industry expert to give you a brand the personalized attention it needs to grow. They tell you what you need to be doing, not the other way around. So you most likely are self-funded and never took investment. Bottom line, you want the best results, period. So see, these are some of the latest trends in fashion right now. Inflation is resetting the market. What happens during inflation is that the market resets. When times are great, it's hard to tell which brands are of real value and which aren't. Remember the lockdown? Government forgivable loans and monthly unemployment checks led to an enormous e-commerce boom. People were spending and spending in the comfort of their own homes. Therefore, mediocre brands were also reaping the benefits for only existing. And with new hot brands exploding onto the scene, everyone thought they were winners. But when a downturn occurs, it exposes and wipes out the mediocre brands. There are three main reasons. One, customers during inflation gravitate towards brands who offer actual products of value, have strong branding, and have great customer experiences. They are more conscious of who they spend their money on because of uncertainty. Their living costs are going up, and the government stopped handing out free money to everyone. Their mindless consumerism slowed down. So only brands with quality products will thrive. Two, rising costs are eating into margins. Mediocre brands who have a bad economies of scale and low margins have a hard time keeping up with inflation. When times are good, revenue is everything, but now profit is everything. With these two things happening, mediocre brands either have to adapt to make their business efficient or close down, making room for brands who offer quality products and healthy margins to thrive. Apple iOS and attribution. In 2023, iOS is not a big deal anymore. Anyone who tells you is either lying to you or their strategy sucks. Most likely it's a strategy. It just sucks. Even if people opt out of tracking, they still get your ads. It's not like iOS made users quit using social media. If it resonates, the ad, they will buy. Facebook has also got a lot better with their attribution. You can still track most data with the correct ads manager and hosting platform setup. If you want to deep dive into attribution and customer data, there are attribution softwares that can do this now. The best one we found is Triple Whale. But all in all, iOS isn't a big deal anymore. Traditional agencies are a thing of the past. You may have heard something along these lines from them. It takes about 3 months to ramp up and start seeing results. It's the economy and current spending habits that are causing poor performance. When are you running a sale? You need to release a new collection every week. You may have even seen these kind of logos plastered onto their website. It looks fancy and it seems credible, but does it actually mean they will care about your brand? Like, does it actually mean they have industry expertise and the results, and they have the results to back it up? Or are they just focused and only focused on fancy accolades instead of what matters? Now, here's the reality. Most agencies are outsourced contractors and button pushers. The bigger they are, the more it's like this. This is usually how it is. First, you sit through their sales guy's 1-hour pitch, whose goal is to make a commission. Then you get assigned to some account manager and never hear from the sales guy again. The account manager can't give you valuable insights because their job is to only manage accounts and keep you on retainer. You ask them things like, can you tell me what's going on in the market? Are you seeing anything work? Do you have any ideas here? Like changing the copy or the imagery tailored to this? And their answer is something like, yeah, you know what? Let me look into that and I'll get back to you. Then they send you some generic answers or screenshots of an Instagram post. When things happen like this in the market, like iOS, they can't adapt fast enough because they have no expertise, which makes their clients, you, suffer as a result. And the worst thing is, you have to dictate the direction and give them insights while paying them. In 2023, you need a specialized expert who understands fashion to move fast and bring in profit from day one. Someone who can give you market insights and solve real problems for you. Next, paid influencer marketing isn't as effective anymore. Influencers nowadays charge a lot more for stories, posts, etc., and many times the return on investment isn't there to justify it anymore. The free days are over. Now, don't get me wrong. If the value is there with an influencer to do a promotion for an extra boost, do it. But the biggest question you should be asking yourself is their audience a buying audience? Just because an influencer has 100K, 1 million, 3 million followers, it doesn't mean the audience is a buying audience. Many influencers nowadays grow their following and engagement off celebrity giveaways. This is how it works in simple terms. The influencer all get a spot in a celebrity giveaway. The celebrity then launches a massive prize giveaway to the followers. To be eligible for entry, the followers must follow and engage the other influencers. This is how influencers rack up metrics. Now imagine these celebrity giveaways happening often, and these audiences cycle over and over again. The quality is terrible because these people only want free stuff. There's no loyalty to the influencers at all. It doesn't feel organic to audiences anymore. So if you do it, pick influencers that care about their audience quality over promotions. If they promote whatever as long as they get paid, right? 1, chances are their following is numb to promotions, so conversions are low. 2, who knows where you are in line behind all the other brands they are promoting first equals slow turnaround time. So for example, the best kind of influencer marketing is when they choose to wear your product. A great example is above. Justin Bieber loved the clothes from Represent and chose to wear it. Right, we're here. The connection and the promotion is different, and they were promoted time and time again for free. And side note, if your product only sells because someone else is wearing them and not because of the product itself, it's not a quality product. You are gambling on someone else to sell your product. If things go wrong or the market shifts, your sales plummet. And fashion brands and labels that rely on influencer marketing are now struggling. Next, raw content is king. Raw content is one of the best types of fashion content right now. These are some examples from our clients. Audience resonates less and less with heavily retouched and edited content. They want raw and real content in a world of fake and enhanced media. It's like window shopping in person. They can see the product clearly. They can imagine how the product fits with them. They can see the fit on the mannequin, and if they like it, they will go into the store. No different than online. And some example from more of our clients, right? A clean shot of the model with the product, or the product itself in a solid background, are two of the best types of raw imagery right now. Fashion shows, famous model shoots, and professional campaigns have their time and place. But when it comes to scaling ads and growing online, it's not needed. Number one, it doesn't convert well in social media and ads. The reason is customers can't relate to this kind of content. It looks great, but it doesn't trigger them to buy. It's slow. Number two, it's slow and no consistency. You can't be consistent with fancy campaigns because of the huge commitment it takes for only a moment in time, a small moment in time, right? Raw content is low investment and fast testing. All you need is a good iPhone or a camera, a model that's relatable to your audience. Doesn't have to be expensive or famous. It doesn't have to be like Gigi Hadid or something, right? If you want bestseller products and clean background. With this, You can pump out content day in and day out for social media and ads. There's no big buildup or delay to make it the perfect campaign. Keep it simple. ChatGPT versus Google. One of the most hyped AI is ChatGPT. You can ask it specific questions, give scenarios, etc., and it will spit out very useful data and answers. It can summarize books for you, find you specific answers, do the research for you, almost anything. Sound familiar? It's like Google now, right? So here's an example of the prompt that I used. People will start to figure out, or even do now, what is the best way to optimize search ads, SEO, keyword rankings, using ChatGPT. So instead of only using Google to get insights, people can also get insights from ChatGPT and gain an edge in the Google ad strategy. So it's AI versus AI. This is already impacting and will accelerate competition on Google. But it's not like ChatGPT will topple Google's monopoly overnight, right? Don't get me wrong. These are indicators of where things may be heading. So if you rely a lot on Google, there's a potential risk right now. You have to delegate risk and move more spend into social platforms, aka the metaverse. Facebook ads versus TikTok ads. TikTok ads exploded in the past years because of timing. Facebook was being painted as the villain with privacy lawsuits, investigations. Then iOS happened. So it seemed like it was the end of Facebook. Brands were jumping ship to TikTok, and all these TikTok agencies started springing up like it's the new gold rush, right? I'm sure you get some spammed cold emails. Quick question, hey, Yet Facebook is still the top platform for fashion brands. It is ludicrous to think TikTok can topple Facebook overnight. Facebook has over a decade of data and an audience size 10 times of TikTok. It's simple math. TikTok has only been irrelevant in the recent years. Facebook is still here and growing for over a decade. TikTok is one platform. Meta owns 3 platforms. You can say 4 now with Threads, right? Meta has 4x the touch points and owns 4x of our attention compared to TikTok now, right? Do the math. Facebook is more effective for higher price points. Unless you are in fast fashion, you will get a consistent and higher ROI on Facebook than TikTok. Fashion brands who sell quality products with AOVs of $100 plus don't work well in TikTok ads. Simple. TikTok audiences are Gen Z type people. They aren't the kind of audience that will spend over $100 on the spot. They value being on trend while being on a budget. Not the kind of people you want to attract. Facebook ads has more leverage compared to TikTok ads. The definition of leverage is the amount of output you get per input. So the more output you get per input means you have higher leverage. TikTok is low leverage because the average life cycle of an ad is 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes even less. So you need to build an entire infrastructure for it and come up with new ad ideas 24/7, only to have the ads last for 1 to 2 weeks max. That's if it works. So is that worth doing for something that may not work? And even if it does work, it won't last a long time. It's low leverage. On the flip side with Facebook, once you have something that works, viral bestseller ads we call it, it can last for months and even years. That is very high leverage. Why split focus to a lower leverage activity when you can do more higher leverage activities? They both need a flow of content, but one lasts way more and makes you more money. But isn't that risky? Isn't it better to diversify? It's only risky if you don't understand what you're doing. And also, TikTok's uncertain future. On May 19, 2023, the state of Montana officially banned TikTok. The TikTok ban has been looming over the market and may continue to other states. Now, this document isn't political, but for some overall context, ByteDance, a company based in China, owns TikTok. Many countries, especially the US, don't like foreign countries gathering data on its citizens. Cybersecurity reason, espionage, list goes on, whatever. Could the US ban the app from the entire country? Sure. China did ban Facebook from its entire country after all. But who knows? Not worth speculating. What we know is Facebook has proven it's here to stay. Despite all these things like lawsuits, investigations, competition like Snapchat and TikTok, PR slanders, Apple iOS, Facebook continues to be one of the social media giants. So for fashion, Facebook's the winner. Now, social platforms are maturing. The online social platforms as a collective are now the metaverse. As the market shifts more and more online, the metaverse owns more and more attention from its users. Your brand exists in the metaverse. You use the metaverse to capture attention from users and you turn users into customers. This is why many fashion brands and labels are shifting away from wholesale and focusing on direct to consumer. Brands that rely on wholesale help the wholesalers get more attention instead of themselves. They become employees of the wholesales, right? Because if they stop buying, they cut off your revenue stream. That's it. So now it's a race to get as much attention as possible in the metaverse. We are in an attention economy now. The more attention a brand and label has in the metaverse, the more money it makes. So what is the most efficient way to take advantage of these trends and grow? Here's the core concept. The most efficient way to hit 2 to 4 plus million online from new customers is with viral bestseller ads. Viral bestseller ads resonate with new audiences so much that it converts them for months and even years, with little to no change to the ad at all. When the ad has resonance and is viral, your ad cost and CPM, cost per thousand impressions, decrease, while your ROAS, return on ad spend, increases. How does this happen? As you scale, traditionally, you reach newer and newer audiences who have never heard from you before, right? Which means less and less trust and less of an ideal customer for you. So your cost of acquisition will only go one way, up, and your ROAS will only go one way, down. So how do you fight two things that will be going against you? You need something that scales in an exponential way, not a linear way. That something is viral engagement. This is where new audiences engage a viral bestseller ad and share it with their close friends because of resonance, right? This is an example of one of the viral bestseller ads we have for a fashion label we work with. Babe, check this out. Oh my God, where did you get that? I need it. Your name, right? Your brand, your ad. Giving you free impressions and sales you didn't have to pay for. Then those friends also share your viral bestseller ads with all their close friends. More free impressions and sales you didn't have to pay for. 1 leads to 4, 4 leads to 16, 16 leads to 48, it compounds. This is how your CPA and CPMs lower, allowing you to scale at a profitable ROAS to newer audiences for a long time. And one of my favorite examples to illustrate the power of viral bestseller ads is the Johnny Depp Dior Sauvage ad. On the left is the first Sauvage ad in 2015. On the right is the 2023. What has significantly changed from 2015 to now 2023? Nothing much. The two ads, 8 years apart, are still pretty much the same. Look at it. Check this one out from 2020. Any significant changes? Not much either. With the budget Dior has, why do they stick with Depp and this kind of ad for 8 consecutive years? They can afford any campaign and any celebrity on earth because these viral bestseller ads resonate with new customers every year for 8 years and counting. 8 years and counting. That is how powerful viral bestseller ads are. It results in profitable and efficient growth for a long time. So the question is, what is the viral bestseller ad strategy? How do you execute it? Agencies don't understand fashion deep enough to give useful insight on long-term growth. So there is a gap. My partner and I solved for this. We proved it with over 14 fashion labels and brands like yours. And it is the only place you can get access to this strategy. My name is Brandon C., and I grew up in the fashion capital of New York City. My partner and I have built and sold an online fashion brand, and ever since 2020, we've been taking our insights and strategies to scale other fashion labels and brands like you see here. We tried ad agencies, but most of them never lasted long term because they didn't understand fashion. So we decided to double down and figured out how to scale ourselves, testing different ad strategies, creatives, copy, targeting, you name it, until we cracked the code on the viral bestseller ad strategy. It scaled our brand while keeping our costs low, and then we sold it. Other founders started asking us what we did and how we did it. Seeing this gap, we now help other fashion labels and brands grow with our strategies. And for what it matters, I am featured in publications like Hot Living, Luxury Lifestyle Magazine, etc., etc. Right? You Google my name, you'll find stuff like this. So, how to grow to 2 to 4 plus billion online in a year from new customers with viral bestseller ads. So, the 6 phases. We'll go from left to right. First, focus on top bestsellers. This is the core foundation of the entire strategy. To create viral bestseller ads, you focus on your bestsellers, is the name. Why? Your bestsellers are your most proven products to have demand in your market. It sells over and over again because of product market fit. Now, many times in your life, you must have seen some sort of ad for Chanel's No. 5 perfume. The one above is from 1937 campaign featuring Gabrielle Chanel in Harper's Bazaar. This one is a vintage ad made in 1955. And this one is featuring Marion Cotillard, the actress, in a 2022 campaign. These are only 3 of the infinite amount of ads Chanel has for the No. 5. This one perfume is still advertising for almost 100 years straight. What changed about the No. 5 itself? Nothing much. The core bestseller still remains the same. It's the No. 5 perfume. Chanel has many other perfumes, but why did they decide to focus on No. 5? Because this is one of their core bestsellers. That is what the customers want, so they give more of what they want. And instead of risking money and launching new products that may or may not have product market fit, they expand off their bestsellers. There are variations of No. 5, like the perfume, the toilette, the premier, right? There are now mini sprays of the No. 5 instead of the bigger sizes, perhaps for customers who travel a lot and like to save space. And there are many also different subcategories like the Lou. right? And excuse my French, it's not my first language, so if I butcher that, I apologize. But what do most brands try to do? They advertise all their products and launch new ones that don't have nothing to do with their bestsellers. Their focus is scattered. They stretch their budget thin and margins drop because they have to buy stock for all their products. Then they invest resources creating content for all of them and plan product launches. And then they have to advertise and market all of them because they need to make sales and keep up the cash flow. But they realize many products don't sell as fast as they would like. The return on ad spend isn't very profitable or is at a loss. With a bunch of cash tied up in the warehouse and slow sales, stress and pressure increases. They think their marketing team isn't doing a good job, so they keep telling them to push these products more, but the results are still the same. Now, they also can't sell their bestsellers as much because cash flow is tight and margins are thin. So everything takes a huge hit and slows down, making them feel more risk averse as a result. And all these things stack up. It's a nasty downward spiral. So by focusing on your bestsellers, you avoid all these problems and streamline your entire business model, right? First, most of your inventory will only be bestsellers. Inventory, will move and sell fast at a profit. The more you market it, the more it will sell. So you can invest in more stock without the risk of slow sell-through rate. Second, your ads and marketing focuses on your bestsellers. Your efforts focus on the highest ROI products for your brand. Your ROAS will be consistent and profitable, and the more you advertise your bestsellers, the more you will sell. Third, you can invest a lot more into improved product quality and restocking, which means customers will buy more, market it for you, right, because of viral engagement, and stay loyal. You won't stress about buying a lot of stock because you know it will sell. And when you're buying higher quantities, you can negotiate better rates, therefore increasing your profit margins. This creates a repeatable and predictable model. The more you spend on ads, the more you sell your bestsellers. The more you sell your bestsellers, the more you can up your quality of the bestsellers and restock more. Most brands are on Shopify, so I'll use this as an example. If you're not, apply the next steps for the platforms you are on. To identify your top bestsellers in Shopify, go to your analytics and look at your top products by units sold. You will see the bestsellers will be at your top and occupy the most amount of sales. The difference is night and day. This is the foundation of our bestseller ads and what will help you get to 2 to 4 million plus fast. Why this works, the Pareto principle. The underlying reason why focusing on your bestseller works is because of the Pareto principle, aka the 80-20 principle. The principle boils down to 20% of activities get 80% of the results. So your bestsellers, the 20%, are responsible for 80% of your revenue. Now, instead of trying to sell a bunch of things, I kept refining the 6 items I had. Mike Amiri, founder of Amiri. Amiri is no stranger to the fashion industry. Emulating where Amiri is now wouldn't work for most brands. Instead, the golden lessons are in his past. To learn what he focused on that got him to where he is now. His first initial success was when his collections were in Maxfield's in Los Angeles. That account put his brand on the map. It drove demand and sales up. With his phone ringing off the hook from other accounts wanting to buy his products associated with his brand, pitching ideas, it's tempting to get caught in the hype and expand in different directions. Yet, Amiri stuck to the 5 core items that made him successful in the first place. Those 5 items are jeans, especially, t-shirts, flannel, leather jacket, and hoodies. It was great because I got to focus on making them better and better and better. Also to understand the audience a bit more and understand my own creative direction. So it was really an intense focus on those that really helped, right? Amiri. Focusing on his bestsellers is the core of his success. He didn't try to do anything fancy outside his bestsellers. He focused on what works and doubled down on it. And as a result, his rack size he was occupying kept getting bigger and bigger to the point where Amiri was doing the most volume in Maxfield's, and from there, the rest is history. Next one, designing the store to sell, right? This is the second step. One of the most overlooked parts when it comes to viral growth is the conversion rate. You can have the best traffic in the world coming to your site, but if it's not optimized to sell, you miss out on a lot of sales. Many brands' websites are designed to only look good. This causes issues like slow loading time, confusing checkout, etc. All these issues stack up and frustrate the customers. A confused mind always says no. So they abandon your website and your conversion rate drops. After a bad first impression, at least 20% of new customers will stop shopping with you. And at scale, that's a lot of missed revenue. The buying experience must be as intuitive and straightforward as possible. With attention span dropping lower and lower, this becomes even more important as time goes on. Excuse me. Look at the physical locations of Louis Vuitton and Chanel. Yes, we can agree that the store does look good and is on brand, but what makes them so successful is they optimize for one thing: to sell products. They invest millions of dollars to perfect their shopping experience. Everything in the store is there for a specific reason, from the product placement to the fragrance used. They make you wait in line outside to draw attention and create demand for everyone else passing by. It raises your urgency and desire for the product before they let you in. And once you're in, the sales rep makes you feel special with champagne, etc. Everyone and everything's goal in the store is to sell. This is the same mentality you must take for your online store. So, how to sell more products and increase your conversion rate? Navigation tabs. This is how you design your store to sell. New ins and bestsellers are a must. Majority of new customers will always go here first. Only have a few main categories in the navigation tab. When a customer clicks on a main category, only then you show them subcategories. Don't lump all your main categories and subcategories in the navigation tab. This will overwhelm and confuse a new customer. Less is more. Now, the product page. This is one of the most important parts of your website. When a customer lands on your product page, make it as easy as possible for them to see the product clearly, read the necessary information to make a decision, buy without confusion. Everything focuses on making a purchasing decision fast. Show the product from as many angles as possible, right? The front side, back, right side, left side. Give the customer a clear 360 view of the product, simulating as if they were shopping in person. The more you show, the higher your conversion. Customers online are more skeptical than in person. Being transparent shows you aren't trying to scam them. Always show the product on a model. Let the customers know the measurements of the model and what the size of the product is on the model. And have direct information for the customers to make a purchasing decision. Keep it brief and direct. Include relevant information like what materials are used, the percentage of each material, the benefits it gives to the customer, and the design aspects. But let the product imagery do most of the talking, not your product descriptions. Now, sizing charts. There are many ways to do sizing charts. Not one is the holy grail, but it must have clear and accurate details. A lazy sizing chart loses you a lot of sales. What does like small, medium, large mean exactly? Get detail with the measurements. If your top customers uses different measuring systems, include them all. Take away all the guesswork and thinking for them. Customers are also tired of brands using clips and editing softwares to fake sizing. Big retailers do this like Boohoo, H&M, etc. So the more detailed your sizing chart is, the more trust you build, which means the more products you will sell. If you're on Shopify, this is a good app for it. It's called Kiwi Sizing. Now, customer reviews. Adding it only helps, so why not do it? If you're using Klaviyo, use Klaviyo reviews. Reviews and social proof go a long way for new customers. And this is the one we recommend. For Shopify users, Yapo social reviews is a great one. Now, using the fashion brand MDV as an example, on shipping and delivery info. Customers track their shipping and delivery like a hawk, so it's important to give them clear and accurate information. Let them know how to deal with delivery issues, what the delivery time is to wherever they are, and how your returns work. These are the key points. In your analytics, look at your top customer segment by countries or states if you're in the US. Take the top customer locations of where they mostly are. Create a detailed list of shipping and delivery times for those locations. The rest, you can bundle it under one category to keep it simple. This builds trust with the customer since you're not hiding how long it takes. And Loop Returns is a proven Shopify app we recommend for handling returns. Upselling. One of the best ways to increase AOV is upselling. These are some of the most proven effective ways we tested for fashion labels and brands you can apply right now. Now, frequently purchase together. During checkout, recommend products for the customers to buy. As you can see here, frequently purchase together. Products that, based on sales data, customers also bought in the past with the same product they also checking out with. You would bundle it under frequently bought together right below the main product, making it simple for the customer to click one time and add more products to cart. Instead of going back to the site and risking drop-off, they are already in a buying state at checkout. Perfect time to offer more items that they will likely buy as well. But that's not all. What you can also do with this section is either test new products to see if people want it before you commit to it, or clear out inventory. Because in the customer's point of view, they assume it's bought together. Frequently bought together must mean frequently bought together, right? That's what they're thinking. Even if only 1 or 2 out of every customers take the upsell, those extra purchases came at no extra cost on the front end. And at volume, that stacks up fast, giving you more cash flow to advertise and scale. If you're on Shopify, this is the best app for it. Swatch this pop-up cart. Shop the look and complete the look. This is usually using MDV as an example again. This is usually at the bottom of the product page. There's a segment of customers who want to have a full outfit look. The best way to sell this is have all the pieces of the look on the same product page. For each piece of the whole outfit, have an add to cart button with each of them. This allows a customer to add each product while still being on the same product page and avoid drop off from redirecting them each time to a new product page. The less clicks they have to do, the better. Next, give free standard shipping at a price higher than your AOV. Let's say your AOV is $100. Give free shipping if they spend $175 and higher. Customers love the notion of free shipping. If you give them free standard shipping, can you make that back in volume? 90% of the time you do, but do the calculations to see if this tactic will make sense for you first. Now, other proven Shopify apps that increase conversion rate and AOV. So for feed for Google and Facebook ads, this one, Google Shopping Feed, you want to use UGC on website and turn videos into shopping elements. Reel Up is a good one. And you want a loyalty program, Grow Wave is a great one. Now, the top 3 converting themes for fashion right now is Reformation, Prestige, and Canopy. By designing your website to sell, customers have a smooth and efficient buying experience. Your AOV will be higher because they will buy more products, and your conversion rate will increase. You make more profit from the same amount of traffic. If your conversion rate is 1% and you increase it to 2%, you now double your revenue from the same traffic. At the end of the day, assuming you're getting the right audiences, it's the store that converts the customer. Make sure it's designed to sell. Sorry about the AC, it's a bit loud if you hear it. The fashion ad strategy. This is usually the state of most fashion brands. So let's dive into the strategy now. No long-term strategy and structure. This is what's happening. The campaigns are all over the place and they don't build on top of each other. I've seen accounts where there are hundreds of campaigns, each of them with one ad set and one ad. And the budget is all over the place and wasted on pointless testing without making any profits. Second, too much remarketing. Their budgets are usually split like this: 50% top of funnel, 50% middle and bottom of funnel, or 40% top of funnel, 60% middle and bottom of funnel. Anything more than 4% of your budget to middle funnel and bottom of funnel is too much. Here's why. 1, your sales will soon plateau. You can only sell so much to your existing customers and your audience per month before you become a spammer. So your ads will reach a point where it will plateau. The ROAS may seem high, but it doesn't mean there's growth. And a side note, this is also how agencies can flaunt unrealistic high ROAS results. Next time, ask them where they focus the ad spend. If it's a lot of remarketing, the results don't mean much. Second, you will cannibalize your sales. Your existing customers are already being remarketed to from your backend like email and SMS, so it's inefficient. So the new way is the viral funnel. The viral funnel flips everything around. 96% of the budget focuses on top of funnel, only 2% middle and 2% bottom. This is the fastest way to 2 to 4 million plus because you focus on the cold market, aka your biggest market. These people never heard of your brand before, visited your site but didn't buy in the last 3 to 4 months. So this audience can count as cold because chances are they have forgotten about your brand already. The cold market is divided into 3 layers. Layer 1, people who want what you're selling and actively seek your type of brand. Layer 2, people who want what you're selling but aren't actively seeking your type of brand. And layer 3, people who have yet to decide they want what you are selling and aren't actively seeking your type of brand. Layer 1 converts easiest because they want what you're selling and want to buy from brands like yours. They're in the market actively looking. Once layer 1 knows that you exist from your ads, they will buy. They are also the lowest hanging fruit, so Facebook targets them first. This also ties into why you should focus on remarketing. Why? Your existing customers will also be included in layer 1 because Facebook sees them as low hanging fruits too. So TOF ads have become the new retargeting. Now, next, people in layer 2 are kind of in the market. They have some desire to buy what you're selling, but it's not a high desire like layer 1. And this is usually where brands get stuck. They have something that's working in their ads, but they can't get beyond layer 2. 2 main reasons. 1, they aren't testing enough to know what resonates with new audiences and what doesn't. meaning they don't have enough winning angles to keep TOF ROAS consistent and profitable. 2, they focus too much on existing customers, right? The 50 to 60% ad spend towards MOF and BOF. Their spend isn't concentrated enough to break through to layer 3. Layer 3 is your biggest opportunity. It has the most people, which means it has the most amount of market share, but it also means they are the coldest audiences. To sustain growth here, every angle of viral testing, covered later, comes into play 24/7 to find what resonates with layer 3 audiences, and every detail matters in the ad account. The campaigns have to work together and build on top of each other. So now that you know what to focus on a high level, let's dive into the phases of how the fashion ad strategy works. So there are 4 phases. So we'll start with phase 1, window shopping. Online retail has become the online window shopping. People want to look and look and look and then decide to buy. Give them that option. As a fashion brand, you want to show what you're all about. To do that, you'll be using carousel ads. Carousel ads allow you to show 8 to 10 of your best sellers. First, make 3 carousel ads of your top 8 to 10 best sellers. Each of the carousel ads have the exact same best sellers in the exact same order, but different images of each best seller. So 3 different images for each bestseller, 1 image in each carousel. Phase 2, UGC and lifestyle content. Now, what kind of content can you use to have different variations in your carousel ads? Content comes down to 2 options, UGC and lifestyle. Most popular forms of UGC are either from customers or influencer generated. You want to use UGC content featuring your best sellers for virality. Lifestyle is content created from your own internal team or done with an external hire with your creative directing. These 2 options keep your content very simple and efficient. You either make lifestyle or UGC content depending on what you need. Quite often, lifestyle content will be used the most for your carousel ads. It's efficient to make and fast to test, like basically with the raw content. Once customers and influencers start to make content, you can follow it up with UGC for your carousels. Phase 3, bestseller video and gift ads. Only move on to this phase once you have a profitable carousel ad that's converting new customers. Once you have a winner, you take the exact same content in that carousel in the exact same order and make a 15-second bestseller video and gift ad, or gift ad, either one. Each bestseller gets 1 second in the video. So if you have 8 bestsellers, it would be 8 seconds showing your bestsellers. And for the time left in the video, show your brand logo, your brand slogan, and a call to action. They don't have to be 1 second like your bestsellers, but enough to fill up the rest of the video. Examples of proven call to action lines are discover new collections, explore new arrivals, shop now. All right. Phase 4, experience ads. If your average order value is over $120, you take the same video and gift ad from phase 3 and you run it as an experience ad. It's an ad that leads a customer through a customizable journey where they can see photos, videos, and texts of your product. Go to your catalog and either pick the 10 products that you want to drive traffic to, or let Facebook show the products they think are relevant. We recommend letting Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. So, with the phases running together at the same time and one building on top of each other, you now have a simple step-by-step on how to run viral bestseller ads. Right? Phase 1, window shopping. Phase 2, lifestyle UGC. Phase 3, bestseller videos. Phase 4, experience ads. Now, campaign structure. This is the time-tested campaign structure for fashion we use for all clients. The core structure is this. TOF scale. This is where you'll put winning viral bestseller ads and scale as long as it's profitable. TOF creative testing, the most important. This is where you'll do viral testing, covered in the next section. Finding out what resonates with new audiences in your creatives to have more angles into the market. Have 1 ad per ad set to not mix data between each test. There's no limits on ad sets, so the more you test, the better. TOF audience testing. This is where you only test new audiences. Best to test 5 audiences per 7 days. Once you find a winner, move it to TOF scale and run winning ads to it. All right, MOF, the goal is just to re-engage people who interacted with your Instagram and Facebook, and BOF is just simple retargeting. Now, optional additions, Advantage Plus. Advantage Plus consists of catalog, video, image, and carousel. Advantage Plus is Facebook's new option for ads. It's like Google Performance Max. There's no specific setup to it since it's a special category. Facebook has the most control of Advantage Plus because it's somewhat of a black box. So if you rely too much on it and something happens, you won't have deep insights on your customers or understand why your ads work. I recommend only using Advantage Plus once you have the core structure intact. Your main focus should always be on the core campaign structure. CBO or ABO. Everything is ABO. ABO gives you the most control over your ads. So that's the entire fashion strategy. Fashion ad copy. Customers nowadays aren't going to read long copy to buy your products. In fashion, the creative does most of the talking. 1 to 2 lines max that communicates your brand message is enough. Hashtags aren't a thing anymore. And if you want to use emojis, 1 to 2 of them is enough. Anything more is too fast fashion vibe. Be brief and direct. This is what's working best right now. It's like shopping in person. When people walk by stores and window shop, they only see the products displayed. There's no ad copy anywhere. If the product's displayed and the brand resonates with the right people, they will walk in the store and shop. Viral testing. Viral testing is actively testing creatives to understand what resonates and what doesn't with new customers. This is one of the most important activities to hit 2 to 4 million plus. Yet from talking with fashion labels and brands 24/7, 9 times out of 10, they aren't doing this yet. And if they are, there's little attention to it. The question I like to ask is, do you know exactly what your best winning creatives are? Most of the time, it's no. And if they do you know why those are your best and winning creatives? Most of the time, it's no. What most brands are doing. They have a lot of data and get new data from Facebook every day. The data tells them where resonance is and the opportunities are, but they aren't using it to understand the customers more. They're not taking advantage of it. Whenever certain ads are performing well or go bust, they aren't dissecting the data, gathering insights, and building on top of what they learned. They're just throwing darts and seeing what sticks. There's no specific purpose or strategy behind why they are launching new ads, which leads to inconsistent ROAS. If one day your best ads start dying off, what have you learned? Can you replicate the success with other ads? Or was it just a one-shot wonder? If you didn't build off your winning ads by testing and getting insights, you are back to square one. The big benefits. Any creatives you make for ads are near guaranteed to work. The more you test and discover new insights, the more resonance your new creatives will have. So imagine having the clarity and confidence that whatever creative you make, the success rate is near guaranteed because you know exactly what resonates with your customers. So if any ad starts going down, you will have more Viral Bestseller ads ready that can replace it because you have the insights. So your ROAS doesn't dip if your best ad declines, it stays consistent. You streamline your creative process. If you know exactly what you need to show in a creative and what not to show, how it's shot, where it's shot, etc., you can systemize your team to pump out winning creatives 24/7. You cut out guesswork in your creative process, and you don't waste time brainstorming the next big idea or analyzing competitors for hours. And who knows if your competitors are even getting good results. Instead, you and your team will focus on executing, decreasing lag time and eliminating unnecessary back and forth. You stay on top of the trends. I often say to my team, we should behave as if we're still a startup. Don't go to the office too much. Stay on the ground with the customer or the designers as they work. I visit stores every week, always looking for the store managers. I want to see them on the ground, not in their offices doing paperwork. Bernard Arnault, owner of LVMH, right? Viral testing gives you live feedback on what's happening in the market and where it's going. So instead of relying on assumptions and guessing what to do, you can adjust your strategy in real time to stay ahead of your competition. So let's move on to the testing process. So one of our clients is an example. Pretend this is one of your winning creatives. If it is performing well, why is it performing well? Is it these kind of models that resonate? Is it because it's shot in a plain background? Is it the kind of vibe given off from the camera angles? Is it the fact that the customers love lighter colors, like pink? These are just some questions to show the thought process when it comes to viral testing. Once you have these questions laid out, form a hypothesis from your test. Let's pretend you want to see if it's the fact that customers love lighter colors like pink. Make or pick some content that has a similar style of creative, model, product, etc., but focus on pink. It's important to only test one variable at a time. If you have too many, you won't know if your test results are accurate. Once you have new split test ads ready, launch them in a testing campaign to the same audiences as the winning ad to see if it's in fact true. How do you know if it's true? If CTR, click-through rate, and or ROAS is profitable, it is true. If not, it is false. Either result is still a gain because you now understand your customers one level deeper. So here's the testing process, right? So you test a winning ad, you test one variable from the ad. If true, so let's say pink is true. The next time you go make creatives, include lighter colors when shooting, especially pink. One less thing your team has to think about. It's efficient, as one of our clients is an example. Let's say pink is false. Turn the testing ad off. So the next time you make creatives, Don't include pick when shooting. Also, one last thing your team has to think about: efficient. Both results help you make winning creatives. This testing process is something you review with your team every week. Anything earlier than that is too little data. Anything more isn't needed. Every insight gives you deeper understanding about your new customers. The more you test, the more insights you gain, the more effective your creatives are, right? The more you test, the more insights you gain, more effective creatives, the more you test. It's a positive feedback loop. Any profitable tests, scale them up. Any unprofitable tests, turn them off. Done on a consistent basis, you now know with full confidence that any creative you make, it will work 9 times out of 10. You understand what works and what doesn't, and you do more of what works and avoid what doesn't. This level of understanding from testing is what separates great brands from good. Using the Sauvage example again, Dior knows that these specific customers resonate with these specific kind of blues, tones, hues, shades, color grading, etc. Depp looking rebellious, free, masculine. Depp showing his tattoos and skin, not covering it up. Depp wearing those specific kind of accessories and jewelry. Right? Depp in these specific kind of locations. Depp with these kind of clothes, not too formal, not too dressed up. His hairstyle in that specific manner. Or else, we would have seen a completely different kind of Sauvage ad with a different celebrity. It may seem boring year after year running the same kind of ad, but the bottom line is, time and time again, it works. Dior won't use completely different colors or have completely different vibe or do anything crazy out of nowhere. Why would they? There's no guesswork involved. It's just rinse and repeat. They avoid making costly campaign mistakes because they do more of what works. Simple as that. Now, tracking your testing. Have a simple Google Sheet for tracking. One column for what worked, one for what didn't work, and one for what you are testing now. Every week, you review test results with your team, moving your tests to either what worked or what didn't work and what you're going to test next. This way, everyone is on the same page and knows exactly what to include in new content. Don't have to be fancy about this process. Sell full price. Oftentimes, many fashion brands and agencies use discounts in their ads to get new customers. This is usually because they don't have the right strategy that converts cold audiences, so they rely on sales and discounts to drive performance. And if an agency can only drive performance with sales, they bring nothing to the table. This is not counting email opt-ins or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? So this is not counting that. Short term, you gain quick revenue, but there are long-term hidden costs with discounting. It will devalue your brand. Your brand devalues because the customers are not loyal to your brand. They are loyal to the discount. This is what you are advertising in the market, so these are the kind of people you will attract. At scale, your customer list won't be worth much because most of them are discount shoppers, not loyal customers. Second, when you release new products at full price, conversions will drop because there's no discount. Your customers are confused since they are used to you discounting. So now you have to either keep discounting to drive sales, which digs a hole deeper, or spend resources to shift your brand perception away from being a discounting brand, which takes time depending on how deep you are in it. So it's best to not be in this position in the first place. Exceptional products shouldn't need discounts to incentivize new purchases. It'll be worth its value to the right audiences. They stay loyal to your brand and will buy what you offer at full price over and over again. So that covers a lot of stuff within the entire fashion strategy. Now, next one, understanding the math. There are many numbers you can track, but there's only a few that matters. The core numbers that matter is break-even ROAS. Many brands don't have a clear understanding of what their break-even ROAS is. This leads to false assumptions and being burned by agencies. So, break-even ROAS. Break-even ROAS is the ROAS you must be above in order to be profitable. So there are two main ways to calculate break-even ROAS. You either use your gross margin or your net margin. Gross margin is best used when working with external partners because they're responsible for your front end. If you do everything in-house, go with net margin. So how do you calculate break-even ROAS? You divide 1 by your profit margin. Let's say your gross margin is 60%. 1 divided by 60% is 1.66, or 1.7 rounded up. 1.7 will be your break-even ROAS. That means on Facebook, you need to be above a 1.7 to be profitable on the front end, but that's still a bare minimum. Nowadays, your ROAS should always be above a 2 because you have to factor in other costs. Anything below a 2 is too close to being in the red. Analytics calculator. So this is our automatic calculator to help clients understand what ROAS they need to hit to be profitable. It's a simple plug and play now available to you in this document. Make a copy of it so you can plug your own numbers. All right, so it's free for you to use. On marketing efficiency ratio, MER. Marketing efficiency ratio is the total revenue made in an entire business from the total you spend on marketing. It's used to get a pulse on how efficient your total marketing spend is, right? The usual measurement of MER is per month. Using MER to measure progress works if you have a lot of marketing channels. And a good MER is 20% to 25% max. But the mistake to avoid is measuring the effectiveness of your ads with MER, especially if you're working with agencies. Only use ROAS to measure the effectiveness of your ads. Are they performing or not? Simple yes or no answer. Your organic sales results shouldn't be mixed with ad results. Why? Because it can seem like your ads are performing well since the total business revenue is higher than the marketing spend. But if you take away the organic sales, it can mean that your ads are just break even or at a loss. So measure the results of the ads separately so you have accurate data on what's really going on. Once you understand the math, you can spend as much as you want as long as it's profitable. If you know every dollar you spend, you get $7 back, keep spending and keep growing. The analytics calculator will save a lot of time for you on that. Or if you just know, as long as you know how to calculate break-even ROAS and you do the math, it works as well. Now, the next part, scaling viral bestseller ads. Once you have proven viral bestseller ads, keep increasing the ad spend by 20% a day as long as it's profitable in the TOF scaling campaign. A 20% a day increase is a sustainable way to scale. Now, if you're more ad savvy, there are 3 other frameworks you can use to scale. Vertical scaling increases the budget of the proven campaigns by 30% every 48 hours. Only increase again if it's stable and profitable. This is why you always wait at least 48 hours before scaling again. Quick fire scale. Increase budget by 20%, wait 2 minutes, increase again by 20%. Only do the 20% increase if your learning phase didn't reset. Duplicate and raise. Duplicate winning ad sets into a new campaign and raise the budget by 30 to 40%. Now, getting to 1,000 to 3,000 spend a day. Reaching this point is sometimes seen as the holy grail of growth in fashion. But the main reason a brand isn't at these spends yet is not because their ads hit a ceiling, it's because they don't have consistent stock to meet demand. If you increase spend to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day, can you get new stock in time to fulfill orders at this scale? How fast can you get new stock, right? These need to be in check before you increase ad spend to these levels. If you are struggling to keep your bestsellers in stock to fulfill current demand, increasing ad spend to these levels is a no-go. What happens is if you keep yo-yoing your spend, meaning you decrease swing spend, you're increasing spend, decreasing spend because of constant stock issues, you're going to reset the learning phase every time and not give Facebook time to optimize, causing a lot of hiccups in your ad account. Increasing your ad spend to $1,000 plus a day is easy. It's just clicking a few buttons. Sustaining this on a consistent level is a whole other animal. By taking the time to get your stock right, you can sustain your viral bestseller ad and sell around the clock at $1,000 per day without inconsistent ROAS. Now, once you're at $1,000 to $2,000 a day with your stock in check, the biggest things you're going to deal with are either ad fatigue or audience fatigue. Usually the first thing that fatigues is the ad. An ad fatigues quicker than an audience, which is why it's important to always test viral tests and have new ads ready. So this is the first thing you want to keep an eye on. For audiences at these spend levels, it's best to tap into lookalike audiences or super broad interest audiences. This is so you can let Facebook dig deep to find more audiences that resonate with your brand. When going to broad audiences, stick to your main markets and exclude every other location, even if they have some orders. If you target every location you ship to, Facebook can overspend in certain locations because the algorithm thinks there's a suitable audience. So let's say your main market is the US, but you also include Portugal because you get some orders there. Facebook might think Portugal is a good market since you got a few orders there, so Facebook will spend more on it. But if you had spent it in the US and the UK, you could have done 4x the orders instead, right? Because if those are your main markets. So these are the 2 main things you will face at these spend levels and how to maintain growth here. Now, the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is to edit or turn off a winning viral bestseller ad. Facebook hates it when you do this. Doing so destroys all momentum you have with that ad. And even if you turn it back on, chances are you may not experience the same momentum again. But what if the products in the ads are out of stock or from a past season? Shouldn't we refresh creatives? The viral bestseller ads only goal is to drive new customers onto your site and convert. If it's working, this means despite those items being out of stock or the creators are old, quote unquote, new customers still come in and buy because it resonates. That is all that matters. The only time you would turn off a viral bestseller ad is when you have new ads that are getting similar or even better results to replace it. Now, lastly, tweak based on data. When you are testing or scaling, ad metrics may deviate off target. Below are the most common if-then scenarios you can use to adjust your strategy and stay profitable. If cost per unique outbound click or cost per click (CPC) is underperforming, change either the copy or the creative in the ad and test again. Only change one of them at a time so you know what works and what doesn't when testing. If click-through rate (CTR) is low, this means your CPC is higher, which indicates your ad content isn't working. So you only need to test different content to find one that resonates. If you want to decrease your CPM, increase your audience size. CPM is linked to audience size. If your cost per view content is higher than your CPC, people click on your ad and go to your page, but they don't take the next step. So you need to optimize your landing page. If your cost per add to cart is high compared to your cost per content view, it means you need to optimize your product page because it's not convincing enough for new customers. If there's a big drop off, you need to find new product market fit with corresponding audiences. Comparing cost per purchase to cost per initiate checkout tells you if your checkout process works. If there's a big drop, it most likely means things like huge shipping fees. Customers can't find information on return or shipping policy. You don't have the right payment providers. Something is unclear that is causing them to drop off at the last step. If an ad frequency is 3+, you have exhausted your audience, it needs a refresh. So when you're tweaking and optimizing, you want to let Facebook do the work for you. Give it 48 hours and then tweak if needed. Make sure to only tweak one thing at a time so you can determine if something is true or not. Tweaking all the time results in wasted money and no clear data. Rushing will do you no good. So the main overview, as you now know, by identifying and focusing on your bestsellers, designing the store to sell, using the fashion ad strategy and viral testing, understanding the math, scaling viral bestseller ads, and tweaking based on data, you will grow to 2 to 4 million plus for new customers without running sales or discounts with viral bestseller ads. Now you can use this document or video to try and get there yourself, which is totally fine. Or work with us and get there in half the time without any of the mistakes doing it yourself. If you'd like to work with us, please book a time on this page, in the button below, or on this link if you're on this document. You'll be speaking to me, Brandon, the co-founder. I'm very straightforward and honest. We will deep dive into your current situation to see if we can get you to your goals. We don't charge any upfront fees, and you only pay if you're profitable from our work. That is our guarantee, which is why I don't need to do anything sleazy to convince you. If it's not the right fit, I will be the first one to tell you no. To maintain the personalized attention and quality of our work, we only work with 20 fashion labels and brands at a given time. If your brand is a good fit, but we're at 20, you'll be on a wait list until spots are open. Then we will contact you back. So again, these are our latest 2003 results, as you can see. All right, for example, 70.4K, 435K at a 6.17 return on ad spend. These are all the latest results for June last month. At the time of this recording, these are the many 14 plus fashion labels and brands that trust us and that we work with or have worked with. Many of them we're still working with. And these are many video testimonials from fashion founders like yourself you can find on this page that shares their honest experience with us. So what's going to happen when you work with us? You'll be able to get viral bestseller ads done for you in half the time. You'll be at ease because you now have a fashion expert that gives you real market insights. You will get more sales and new customers each month. You'll be way ahead of your competitors during these market conditions. You can finally get rid of the no good marketing agency, and you'll feel confident because you know what exactly is happening. Again, this is for fashion labels and brands doing 500K to 1 million minimum in online sales a year, who wants to get more new customers and grow to 2 to 4 plus million in online sales a year in the most efficient way possible. That is what viral bestseller ads. So if that's you, book a call with the button below or in this document. Now, FAQs. On my account, what would be the first thing you would do? You would just turn off all ads and restart everything. What am I looking at in terms of loss of potential revenue? For how long? How does that look? Now, we will start our own thing on the side because we'll build our structure and strategy on the side because we don't want to turn everything off because basically it will almost kill the entire business. We will turn off the ads that are not bringing any positive ROI and keep the ones that are bringing in sales and running until our structures are fully set up. It takes 7 days on average to have everything fully set up and running. At that point, it will be a very smooth transition to the new structure and you won't have significant revenue dips. What volume of content would you guys like to see from